Hi everyone, I'm April, and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks. This is a crafty edition. I will be talking today about cross stitch, knitting, and crochet. So, just as a little kind of reintroduction of myself, I do this every once in a while just because sometimes I do get a few subscribers here and there. I am living in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, just outside of Albuquerque, and I do knit, crochet, cross stitch. I love to read. I do separate the videos, the crafty videos, from the book videos. Oh my goodness, my neighbors just slammed their door so loud. Scared me. Anyway, so let's go ahead, and I keep shaking the table, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and get into what I've been working on. I don't have a whole lot to show you because I've been actually kind of monogamous lately on one project, and I did talk about this at the very beginnings of it last time, I believe, on the last crafty video. But what this is a baby blanket. That's the backside. I'm making a baby blanket, and it's a square. It is crochet. I am using a 3.5. I don't know if it'll focus this time. It never does. Nope. Never focuses for me. But it is a 3.5 millimeter hook, which would be an E in US terms. Now this is a very fun and very mindless kind of project. It is crochet, but it kind of looks like knitted brioche, which is really cool. So what I'm using are a bunch of different colors from Hobby. This is Hobby, and the yarn is it says 8/4 quality 100% natural cotton, and it is called Rainbow. Now, as you can see, I'm using multiple colors. Where's my bag? At one time, there was a sale on this website, and I went and got one of a bunch of different colors. So I have a whole bunch. Wasn't sure what I was going to use them for. My son said one of his friends is having a baby soon and would like me to make a blanket. I said, sure. We went through and through the colors that I have, and he picked the order. So this is where we are. This will be the next color in line. It is very, very easy. It does eat up a lot more yarn than like normal crochet because this is all done with front and back post double crochets. So it does eat up a little bit more yarn because you're working a little bit lower in each row than you normally would. But it's coming out so cool. I'm loving it. I'm going through and using up of the colors. I'm using up until I can't get through an entire round. Once I realize that I can't finish a round, I'll rip that part out and put that yarn as leftovers and then move on to the next color. That way I'm not changing colors in the middle of a row. Not that I don't mind doing that. Sometimes I really do like doing that, but this particular time I didn't want to. So I'm at the point where now I can get 3 rows per color. I'm not sure if this one is going to give me 3 rows or if it's going to be 2. But once I get to where I can't get through a whole row, I'm going to have to sit down with my son and have a talk about what we're going to do next. What I want to do is continue going in this pattern with a single color and just make like a big wide section to get it up to the size that I want. I think right now this is about 22 inches across, and I would like to get it to at least 30. So we're gonna have to discuss that because this was all stash yarn. We're gonna have to discuss buying enough yarn to make up the rest, or if he's okay with suddenly moving on to where the yarns are changed in the middle of the row. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I kind of like the idea of having like maybe white, like a big border of white, and then going back and maybe picking up this another of this baby pink and doing a real pretty kind of I don't know what it's called. It's not a scallop border, but it's kind of like a, I don't know how to describe it, and I don't know what it's called. I've just seen pictures of it, and I think I could figure out how to do it, but it kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, never mind that part. But I do want to do like maybe throw back a pink border. Um, so a big band of white and then the pink, kind of like a ruffly border. Um, but then I was thinking maybe I could just switch up the stitch and do maybe like a, once I change to the solid white, instead of continuing in this, I don't know what it's called. It looks like knitted brioche, but I don't know if it has a name in crochet terms. But I'm switching from this stitch to maybe like a crochet moss stitch or seed stitch, um, because that'll use up less yarn, so I don't have to buy as much, and I can get more yardage or get more width out of the yardage that I'll have. Since it's all gonna, since I'm gonna be moving out of the stripes anyway, part of me thinks that it'll be cool to switch up the stitch pattern as well. Um, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to talk to my son about that and see what he thinks. But I love how it looks. It reminds me of those. I don't know if they still make them, but when I was a kid, 8,000 years ago, they had these jawbreakers that were huge. And you like, obviously, you can't stuff the whole thing in your mouth because they were giant, and it would take like months to finish them because, they're big. And then you would like sit it on your dresser or something on a plate, and it would just slowly get smaller and smaller. But inside, if you happen to drop it or whatever, inside, it was all of these different rings of colors. And that's what this makes me think of. I don't like how the center, I'm sure you could see how the center kind of wants to pucker in. I don't like how it's doing that, but I'm hoping that once I wash this and I'm actually gonna block this just to see if I can get a little bit more pull out of the stitches so that it can be a little bit bigger. But I'm hoping that doing that will also eliminate this center, the way it kind of like wants to bunch up. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. If not, I mean, it's fine. It's a baby blanket. It still looks way cute, and it's very, very cushy. This is a worsted weight yarn, but because it's crochet and because it's all front post and back post doubles, it's very, very squishy, very, very warm and cozy, and I'm having so much fun with it. This is, I didn't mention the name of the pattern that I originally started with. It's called the Colors of the Rainbow Blanket, and that's by Christy Albert. Now, I started off with the original pattern, like the basic stitch pattern, except for the fact that it was doing the pattern had some, where when you're changing colors, you're carrying two yarns at the same time, and that leaves some floats on the back side. I didn't do that. I just went ahead, and once I finished a color, I started the next color. And I get it, the way that the pattern has it written. I get how, why they did that, so that you don't have this going on when you change colors, because you've got the front posts and that looks great. But when you have the back posts, you can see where the color changes. But that didn't bother me. This means that it's also going to be exactly the same on the back side. See? So now I have a completely reversible blanket, and I don't have to deal with any kind of floats. So I went ahead and did that. So I did have to kind of look at the wording of the pattern and just kind of eliminate that one little bit. And then once I got the pattern in my head, it was like, it only took me a couple of rounds to figure out the pattern, and it's so mindless. It's so easy. And I'm really loving how it's turning out. Now, I think the blanket pattern, I can't remember if it has a border or not, because I just kind of stopped looking at it once I got familiar with the stitch. But like I said, I think I'm going to do my own thing and find this ripply. If I can find a picture of it, I will insert it here. But I don't know if it's got a name, but I think I could figure out how to reverse engineer it. I hope. So that is what I've been working on. And actually, I've been doing a whole lot of reading lately. Like just right now, reading is my focus. So I haven't been doing this a whole lot. And I've been contemplating the whole yarn situation. So I haven't been, and I really want to get it done in a good amount of time because I would like my son to be able to give it to his friend whenever the baby shower happens. So that's why I'm being monogamous. You know me, I usually like to do a million things all at once, but right now I want to focus on that. So that is my crochet. Now I mentioned some knitting, and I'm not actually actively, oh, I gotta sneeze, hold on. Excuse me. So last time I talked about a couple of projects that I wanted to frog. They were whips. I wasn't feeling them anymore. I just wasn't in the mood to do those ones. So I said I was gonna frog them. Now one of them had these 3 yarns in it. It was a shawl, and I think it was the one I was telling you. I don't remember the name of the shawl now, but it was, I chose to try to modify the pattern and make it bigger, and then I realized I didn't have enough yarn. So it sat in timeout for a while, and then now I decided to frog it. So that's what I did. This is how much of these, there was 5 or 6 colors total. These 3, I decided I'm going to use these together because they're all the same base, all by the same dyer. These are from the experiments page on the Breaking Yarn website. I'm sorry, I keep shaking the table. I hope it's not too terrible. But this is from Breaking Yarn. She's got her standard colors, but sometimes she does experiments. And I don't even remember what it was. This was so long ago I bought this yarn. And it's a fingering weight, but I don't know what it is. It's not your normal fingering weight. It feels like it might be a non-superwash, but I'm not sure. I haven't tried like spit splicing or anything to check that, but it feels different than her regular merino nylon base. So, and I don't have anything else that feels like this, so that I'm going to go ahead and use these together. So the pattern that I actually have cast it on, you can see I've got it here. All I've done is the first couple of rows just to get it started because, you know, I was excited. And then I got asked to do the baby blanket, and now I put it away. But this is going to be something that I'm going to work on very soon. This is a 4.0 millimeter needle, which would be a US size 6. And the pattern, I'll put up a picture here. It's called Wine Knot, and that's by Alina Apasova. I hope that's how you say her name. And I love how it's very geometrical. It just looks like a really fun way to play with all of the colors. So that's what I'm doing. Oh. And I had to go and search for the bigger balls because I had put them away somewhere else. I don't know why, but I had to go searching, and I'm glad I found them. I have a random needle just stuck in there. That doesn't go there. So that's what I'm planning on doing with those ones. The other colors that were in that shawl that I frogged, I haven't decided what to do with those yet. So I just went and put them in my stash. So that is all I've got for knitting. Now, I promised a couple of times, and I kept forgetting, to show you a cross stitch project that I've been working on. It's been about 7 or 8 months that I started it. This is the Supernatural. It was a stitch along, so it was a Supernatural Sal. And this is by the Witchy Stitcher, I believe. And I'll put that up here. But this is what I've got so far. And please excuse me, I do use a hoop. This is a hoop that I got off of Amazon, I think. So it's got all the marks and it's crinkled and it doesn't look pretty. It's not, TV worthy, but when am I ever TV worthy? It's not video worthy, but when am I ever video worthy? So it's just kind of scrunched and wrinkled and creased, but that will iron out later. But this is what I've got so far. It's so fun. It's a whole lot of mythical creatures, supernatural type creatures. So you can see I've got a siren and a werewolf, a zombie. There's Banshee. There's a changeling. He's super cute. And there's a Striga, which I think is kind of like a vampire and witch combination kind of thing. This pattern includes a little bit of information about each creature. So you kind of get like an idea of what they are. And the one that I'm working on now up here is a djinn, or, a genie. Now, the cool thing about this pattern is anytime there's like flesh tone colored creatures, she gives you an option to do it for a lighter flesh tone or a darker flesh tone. And I think this one was that way for the djinn, but I decided, because I love Robin Williams, I'm going to make this djinn blue. So I'm going to be using these 3 different color blues, and I'm going to have to, for the excuse me, the accessories and whatever, I'm going to be adding in some reds and pinks and a little bit of yellow. So this is going to be basically the color of my djinn. These are burgundies and reds. There's a little pink. There's my yellow. I'm using mostly the colors that she called for, but in this particular instance, I am switching up, like I said, the blues and the pinks instead of the flesh tone colors. I think even this guy, the changeling, he was originally a different color, and I thought he would look better orange. I can't remember what the original color was, but I did change that one out. And I thought I would try something different because this one, the hair was gray, but I wanted to see what it would look like if I could make it like salt and pepper. So I held one strand of white and one strand of, oh, it's not going to focus. I held one strand of white and one strand of black together to kind of give it like a marled look. It turned out okay, and I'm not going to go back and try to fix it because if I don't have to pull out stitches in cross stitch, then I'm not going to. Unless I've made a very glaring mistake, I am not going to. And actually there is a couple of mistakes, but I'm not going to go back and pick them out. These two. There's little bats along the side here. And these 2 bats sit 1 row higher than these 2. I messed up on these ones. But I'm not going to go back and fix it because from a distance, you can't tell. But this is, gosh, I don't even remember. It's been so long. I think this is a 16 count Aida. I think it was a 16 count Aida, and it's like an oatmeal color. So it's got like little, I don't know if you could see it, but it's got kind of little tiny flecks of beiges and browns on the cream base. This was originally meant to be a Christmas present for my daughter, but Christmas came and went. Her birthday in February came and went. Maybe she'll get it for Halloween. Who knows? But that's what I've been working on. Little by I want to get I really want to get back into that. I'm like craving to get into some more cross stitching. So I'm using mostly the called for colors are DMC. But some of these colors, let's see, like this yellow and this blue and this pink, they're all loops and threads. I don't know why my phone doesn't want to focus lately. But these are loops and threads, which I believe is from Michael's. Because I was, before I got back into cross stitch, I was trying out embroidery and I had never done that before. So I just got like a little packet of random colors and they just happen to be loops and threads. So there you go. That's the cross stitch that I'm working on. And I don't have any kind of special pretty project bag. I have project bags for my knitting and crochet. I rarely show them to you guys because mostly I'm always switching from thing to thing, and mostly it's for storing my projects because I have so many whips. When I'm knitting on something, it's usually just sitting out. I don't have it in a bag. And I don't have a special cross stitch project bag, but I kind of want to get one because I know Toad Hollow, the ladies over at Toad Hollow are making cross stitch project bags. So I may get me one just because. But that's really all that I have going on right now. I really am super excited for this blanket. I just want it to be done so I can see it. I'm just, now that I was talking about using the white as the border, as like a wide edge, not really the border because I think I'm going to use the pink as the official border, but the wide band of white. So what if I could get like a white with random colored speckles? I don't know if that exists, but that would be fun because that would really tie into the whole idea I have in my head of it being like a jawbreaker, because those giant jawbreakers were white on the outside, white with a bunch of speckled colors all over the place. So anyway, that was a random thought. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to talk about as far as crafts go, so I will go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for coming by and spending another few minutes with me, and to any new subscribers, thank you, and everybody that's been coming back, thank you, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.